So again, here I am to talk about American justice politics again, and again, it's about throwing a little shade at the California Democratic Party, which I just have to. I have to say what a lot of people will not say often enough. But again, biggest state in the union with the most money, the most financial backing, the most media coverage, biggest media market, the most liberal bastion of America. That's what we like to call it. Of course, you have to remember, very pro institution, very pro status quo. How do I put it? Socially very liberal, but economically very corporate would be the term I would use. So, like, the more liberal version of a libertarian. That's basically what you're getting out of the Democratic Party in California. AKA, probably the least popular branding for Democrats. I'm going to be honest. Um, because what I've learned about people when I speak to more and more people throughout this country, even just in my own community in Nevada, people are just frustrated and they want change. Okay. And the true core center of America is actually progressive when it comes to the economy. People are progressive when it comes to domestic issues. When it comes to social issues, yeah, people are more moderate. They're not necessarily far left. And that's why branding does really matter. Um, when you got a state like California, who's supposed to be so forward thinking on so many things, and are usually the first to start a movement of things before it starts happening everywhere else, branding still matters. Because the reality is, if you really want to be taken serious as a huge economy and as a big state and want the branding of the Democratic Party to be better, they have to pick better candidates. They have to pick better messengers. They have to focus on messaging that's actually going to get majority support. That's just reality. Now, when you're running a state as big as California, all right, how money spent is matter, and how effective the programs you implicate matter. Okay? Because people want their money used efficiently. Okay? So, it's more than how much money you spend, it's about how you implicate these programs and allocate them for results. All right? And that has been the problem in a state like California. They spend a lot of money on a lot of things, but they don't necessarily fix or correct the problem they're trying to address. All right. Which is currently why the current governor of California is not the most popular guy and is going to have a very hard time running for president. I'm just going to be honest. And a lot of people get mad at me for saying this because he's getting all this coverage and more liberals are starting to like him because he's sticking it to Donald Trump. And I get it. I get it. And I like how he's sticking it to Trump because Trump needs something stuck to him. Okay? He needs his ego bruised. All right? And I have to admit, Newsom's fighting the good fight against Trump. And I love it. I'm enjoying every minute of it. Um, but branding also matters. How you govern also matters. Your track record matters. All right. And when you're running this largest state in the union and the state is not satisfied with the direction they're going, that's going to be a problem for your national implications. That's just reality. And again, I'm sure they've done a lot of good things in California too. I'm not saying that everything they did is wrong. It's just they got to do better, especially being the biggest state in the union with the most money, wealthy enough to have their own country. Again, they are the biggest media market out there, and the Democratic Party in California gets the most attention because it's such a big state in the media market. And that is central on the whole Democratic Party as a result. And I care deeply about this because I want Democrats to win and succeed. But I also want them to be the better party than what they are. I want them to be a better party. They have more potential to be better as a party. And actually have real wins at their back and actually fight for things that people truly care about. Okay. Moral clarity matters. And we need people to speak up and fight for everyday people. Genuinely. Actually want to make things better for people. Make life better. Not just be against Trump, but actually stand for something. You know, again, I want you to fight Trump all the way. But I also want you to stand for something. And unfortunately, California Democratic Party has failed miserably in keeping voters satisfied, even in their own state, to the point that votes are so split up in the Democratic side that voters don't know exactly who they want leading their party anymore. They don't know who they want leading for governor, who they want leading for members of Congress, because voters are genuinely frustrated and they want change. Again, this is not a mandate for Republicans. Republicans are doing surprisingly good in these races in California, but I want people to remember that's because more Democrats are running. And the votes are still early. The votes have not been completely counted yet. So a lot of it's just so many Democrats ran and split up the votes. And again, there were good candidates that ran, but they weren't adequate candidates. They were okay candidates. Like, I honestly was hoping for Governor Katie Porter because I thought she was a good candidate at one point. She was a good congressperson from what I've seen. I was impressed with her work. I was impressed with her fight, the way she delivered for policy and fought for good things. But unfortunately, she flubbed her campaign because she was very abusive to her staffers. Doesn't look good. You know, when it shows you have a temper problem, who treats your staff like crap, assaults your husbands or ex-husbands, crap like that, that really, that tarnished her campaign for governor. I hate to say it. And that was unfortunate because she would have been a great candidate for governor. And I think she would have been a decent governor. But then again, temper and character matters. And if you act like that, if you're balking at the press, you're doing this stuff, it's like these people are starting out trying to act like Trump, thinking it's going to help them. It's not. Voters are done with that. People are tired of that. It's time to turn the page. But California Democratic Party failed on recruiting decent candidates for governor. Okay, they just did. That's just reality. California Democratic Party didn't do as good as they could have, and as a result, you're going to get a milquetoast neoliberal like Javier Becerra for governor. Hate to say the quiet part out loud, but Democrats, you seem to fail when you could be winning everything at your back. You can be right now picking a great, charismatic, progressive leader for governor to lead the largest state in the union for the whole country to see. And that would have greatly helped change and strengthen the branding of the Democratic Party in a time that we need it most in this country. But a lot of the candidates that could have met the occasion to run for governor, they didn't freaking do it. And now you guys are stuck with another milquetoast neoliberal candidate for governor who's going to run against a MAGA Republican. Yay. The great choices you left for everybody to vote for. And all you Democrats got in the race, knowing you had no shot in heck, splitting the votes up, not delivering a convincing message. And that's why I said any big name could have got in that race and ran and actually made some moves and actually had a shot at winning. That would have actually been a truly great candidate. But, again, congratulations, Democrats, best strength. Failure when they have advantage at their feet. But here we are. Oh well, America. I just hope that more elections around the country change for the better, but especially in these primaries so they can actually elect better people, which I can't wait to go vote in my primaries here in Nevada because I got some bone to pick with some of my Democratic incumbents right now. So yeah, I'll see y'all later. You have a great day. Have a great night. Goodbye.